We are now on the third section of DAP. So DAP plus CAP is the strategy for this entire course. DAP is the first part and it's more about, the alpha male, masculine part. And we've done dominance, aggression, and now we're on the third part, which is pain. And this video is going to be controversial as fuck. And I need to break some limiting beliefs that you have because so many guys are scared of inflicting pain on the girl that they're fucking. You've been raised in this sort of weak, gentle, play nice, sit quietly kind of manner that has totally destroyed your ability to fuck like an alpha male. Now, of course, to inflict pain, you should do so consensually. You should get her consent. But again, like I said previously, I'm not even scared to say this. In the modern day, you're told, make sure you get consent. The advice I've seen is to ask for consent. Ask if it's okay with her. I'm gonna tell you the truth, bro. I've never once asked a girl, can I choke you? Can I spank you, please? I've never asked that. I get consent, but not in that kind of way. The way, honestly, which is dark as fuck, but it's literally to kind of assume that it's okay, that it's reasonable, the thing that you're doing. So in terms of inflicting pain, for example, let's say choking, right? It's reasonable to think that the girl would probably enjoy choking because the majority of girls do. And so the reasonable way to get consent for it isn't to ask, can I choke you, please? Isn't to wait till you're both sober and say oh, so by the way, do you enjoy choking? Because I might choke you later. That's cringe. The reasonable way to get consent is to just put your hand there without squeezing and just see her response. And then if she seems okay with that, well then yeah, tighten it up, tighten it up a little bit. If she seems okay with that, well then by that point you're literally choking her. That's fine. Don't obviously do too much up until you've slept with the girl a bunch of times and you kind of have established this rapport. It's controversial advice, but it's kind of you assume consent with, if you're dick in pussy, if you're literally fucking this girl, you assume consent for anything that's reasonable. To inflict pain on her, for example, spanking, you don't ask, can I spank you? You just do it, and then don't do it too hard, to the point that, she might get hurt by it. But you do it hard enough that she kind of feels it and see her response. Is she happy with it? Okay, we'll do it again, do it harder, boom. Same with choking. Once you've slept with a girl multiple times, she likes you and everything, maybe your girlfriend, boyfriend or something, you can really push and see how hard you can go in terms of inflicting pain. And a rule I will give you, even girls will probably agree with this, girls would way rather rein you in than push you forward. Always remember this in all cases of your relationship with a woman, but especially with sex and especially with inflicting pain. Girls would rather rein you in and kind of slow you down. In terms of inflicting pain, let's say you're choking her and she kind of says no, that was too much, I need to breathe, bitch. She's kind of on your side, but she's also oh, come on, please be careful, that hurt and stuff. Girls would rather do that than kind of say to you come on, yeah, you can choke me, come on, do it, yeah, do it harder, stop being a little pussy. They would rather rein you in. So essentially let's imagine this weird spectrum, right? This is how much she's actually capable of enjoying. She would rather that you go up to here and she says, wait, that's too much, it hurts, and stay here. Then you go here to be safe, and she has to kind of say to you well, come on, you can come up here a little bit. So you need to find your own kind of energy and confidence level with this. And if you're a lot newer to having sex at all, then exactly like I wasn't as comfortable with inflicting pain, so I was a bit more timid with it, I was a bit more shy. Whereas now I'm so much more confident. But I'll choke a girl on the first time we have sex and it's I know it's okay. And if it's not, if I end up doing it and she's oh, I don't like that, well then I'll bear it in mind and I won't push again. Do not have this sort of soft and slow, gentle fuck. Now that's okay, sometimes, especially with a girl that you like, it's okay to do this very sort of consensual, connecting, kind of slow, where you both look into each other's eyes. That's okay, that's nice, variety is nice. But your sort of default state needs to be that of a fucking animal. Don't be soft and slow and gentle. Be sort of aggressive. Don't even care about hurting her. Throw her down without thinking, throw her onto the bed without thinking there's a hard object there that she might hurt herself. Choke her to the point that she's almost in a bit of pain and then ease off. And if you do go too far and the girl still kind of likes you, but you do go too far to the point that she's actually in pain, you can still carry on the same kind of energy. Look at her in a certain way and say did I hurt you? Caress her face or some shit. You can keep and maintain your sort of alpha male dominance rather than this modern day bullshit of being a little feminine pussy who has to ask for advice and ask for consent. So throw her around the room, pin her down. When I'm fucking from behind, for example, I'd grab her by the skull and sort of bury her face into the bed with a sharp push. You might think but girls like this shit, bro. The majority of girls like this shit, and if she doesn't, she'll make it clear to you. But you'll only kind of find out by kind of just assuming and kind of finding out and exploring how far and hard you can go with a certain girl. And you never want to be this far below her tolerance, because that's just fucking cringe, bro. You're not getting a text back. If a girl can be absolutely railed and you're just scared that you don't want to hurt her, you'll be down here, and I'm telling you right now, she's not going to text you back. I'm going to say this again because this was such a big learning lesson for me. Girls would way rather rather that you push past their point of comfort and that they tell you, okay, you know, to slow down, that hurts, rather than you be a little bitch and like stay down there. Choke her, slap her, pull her hair. Like the majority of girls who love this shit is fucking mad. Bro, I'm choking girls hard. I spit in their mouth, I slap them and stuff, and like girls love this. And the thing is, you know, most of all, you'll like it. Like if you're, obviously if you don't enjoy this stuff, if it's not authentic to you, fine. But the reason why I'm pushing this so much is because I think what you would enjoy and what is authentic for you is a lot more rough and a lot more masculine than what you do and feel comfortable with right now because of this modern day social bullshit conditioning. If we were in caveman times, thousands and thousands of years ago, you would have fucked way more like an animal than you do now, and you would have felt more comfortable with it. And this is so interesting. You can hurt a girl, like you can be too much. Let's say, okay, I'm with a girl I love, and I'll choke her and choke her and choke her to the point that, okay, she's actually in pain and she's like panics for a split second. You can inflict so much pain into her where she's, you know, panicked and in pain, and seconds later she's proper cute and she's like proper like being a little girl next to you again. Girls can take so much more than you think that they can. Now, of course, you shouldn't just, you know, go 0 to 100 with this, but as you kind of go about your own sex life, see what level you enjoy the most, and then see what level like the girl that you're with, be sort of intuitive with that and see what she can take. And don't stereotype, do not stereotype, because you might think a slutty looking girl takes it like harder and more pain than like an innocent looking girl. I found no correlation between the two. I found innocent girls who can be absolutely fucking ravished and like absolutely ragdolled, thrown against the wall, the mirror, everything. And I found like slutty looking girls with, you know, like covered in tattoos and like fake lips and fake tits and everything, and they're like, they need it a lot more gentle. So don't stereotype. When you're with a girl, don't think to yourself, yeah, she's a slut, so I'm gonna fuck her. No. It's all based on sort of her individual capabilities and also what you would enjoy. And one advice for this is be careful. You should progressively overload pretty much every time you're having sex. Going like so quickly to instant kind of pain isn't very like pleasurable. Like pain is pleasurable in sex, but you have to build up to it, and this is totally linked to your level of aggression and dominance. So this might be obvious, but it's a finding of mine that you might find interesting. The level of pain that you can inflict on her is totally tied to how dominant and aggressive you've been. So if you've kept your sort of dominant and aggressive level low, imagine, you know, you're just doing like a soft fuck, well then you can't just start choking her hard out of nowhere. She'll find it weird. If you're a soft little weakling who fucks like a wimp and you're, you know, just fucking her softly and like, you know, you're about to bust, so you're like barely putting in like 1 inch at a time, and then you start pulling her hair, she'll find it like really weird. Whereas imagine if you're absolutely fucking her hard and then you pull her hair and sort of like yank her to the side, like that's normal. So you've got to know where your level of dominance and aggression is. Are you fucking hard right now? Then you can inflict a lot more pain. If your dominance and aggression is a bit lower, then you can't inflict as much because that's just kind of weird. You have to be kind of tied into this. Don't just like jump one without the other. This is why I've put together DAP, DAP, dominance, aggression, and pain all together.